this is Foodie Hemsel, and this week I'm going to be doing something quite special in the microwave, and I'm going to be making a vegan chocolate mug cake. For this recipe you're going to need 32 grams of plain flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 60 ml plus a further 1 tablespoon of a vegetable milk such as soy milk, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, and 1 tablespoon of chocolate chips. For today's recipe I'm going to be using a 900 watt microwave, so therefore you may need to adjust your times accordingly if you're using something different. To start off with, wipe your surfaces down with a warm soapy cloth and then spray your surfaces with an antibacterial spray. To use your scales, you'll need to make sure that your weighing bowl is on there first before pressing the on/off button. The reason for this is so that when you are weighing, it takes into account the weight of the bowl so that it is down to 0. You'll notice that it's got a unit button where you can change it from ounces to grams. Today's recipe we are working in grams. For this recipe you will also need to understand that 1 tablespoon, which is the biggest one, too big to fit in your mouth, is 15 millilitres, and the smallest one, which is a teaspoon, is 5 millilitres. The one in between this is called a dessert spoonful, and this is classed as 10 millilitres. You'll need to know this in order to start weighing out your ingredients as well as your weighing scales. So the first thing we're going to weigh out is your 32 grams of your plain flour. That's 28, that's approximately about a tablespoon. You can be 1 gram under, 1 gram over, and it won't make too much of a difference. However, if you like your numbers to be absolutely spot on, you can see that mine now says 32 grams. Place your flour into a mixing bowl. The next thing we are going to weigh is we are going to be going for a level tablespoon. So therefore we need the back of a knife, the flat part, and we're just going to go over the top until it's level. So we've got 1, 2. You'll notice that I've started to weigh all of the dry ingredients together. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. This will ensure to give a good rise. You don't want to add too much of this because otherwise it can be quite bitter. So 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of my caster sugar. So it's literally, I would say, about a pinch of salt. Give your mix a stir. You can either use a spoon or a whisk. When it's all combined, you're ready to add your liquid. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of my sunflower oil. I wouldn't recommend using olive oil just because it has a little bit of an aftertaste. A tablespoon is 15 mils, so therefore I'm going to need 4 tablespoons of my soy milk. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm ready for giving it a mix. If you remember, I said at the beginning you might need another one depending on the consistency. So give it a mix till it's totally all combined. Make a decision based on whether it looks like a nice runny batter of whether you're going to add any more. Okay, I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of milk, so that will equal 5. Give it a stir. Okay, so looking at the microwave, you'll notice that it's 900 watts. I've got a 10-minute button, a 1-minute button and a 10-second button, and then we've got the door for opening it. So I'm going to open the door. I'm going to place it on my microwavable plate, place it into the centre, close the door. I'm going to put it on for, I would say, 1 minute. And press start. Okay, so I'm going to be opening the microwave. Be very careful because this milk will be very hot. So I've put this in for 1 minute in the microwave, and as you can see, it's very cake-like in its consistency, and that it started to come away from the sides. I'm just going to be taking a spoonful of it to see whether it's still battery or whether it still needs a little bit longer. Looking at this, it's very moist still.